It's the Bulls Podcast, episode 55.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is DG from the Bulls, Daniel Gafford here, and this is the Bulls Podcast with Marcus Couch. Go Bulls.
Hey, Chicago Bulls fans. It's time for your Bulls Podcast.
Welcome to the Bulls Podcast, coming to you from bullspodcast.com. This is where we bring you the latest news, reviews, rants, rumors, and opinions on the players, coaches, and front office of the Chicago Bulls. My name is Marcus Couch, and joining me today, boy, I'm so pleased to have you here, one of the finest Chicago Bulls YouTubers out there from Windy City, The Breeze. We've got Pat the Designer in the house.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody?
Oh, you know how we are. Lousy.
I understand.
We got several topics in this episode, including a Bulls versus Hornets rundown, a State of the Bulls injury report, and game predictions for the coming week. We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Bulls fans, remember to follow the show on social media at Bulls Podcast and at bullspodcast.com.
All right, before we kick things off, we're going to talk about players wearing number 55, since this is episode number 55, and everybody knows that, you know, we like to praise the episode number people out there, and we've actually had some prominent ones. Remember show 53, we had artist Gilmore. 54, I couldn't get Horace. He just wasn't into it. But 55, this is pretty good here. There's only two people out there to wear number 55. And I know, Pat, you know this one. Roger Brown in 1980, right? You remember this guy? No? Well, he's a Bulls legend. He was 6'11", 225 pounds. 6'11", 225? What a thin...
Sorry, did you say Roger Brown or Luke Cornett there?
Yeah, no kidding. He was a 14-year NBA ABA center that came to the Bulls after being out 2 years with an injury. He played only 4 games for the Bulls, and then he retired. That was it. Close the books. Done. Nothing notable. And then
that's a pretty Bulls thing to sign. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And the only other instance of number 55 of at least recent history was E'Twaun Moore, who's still playing in the NBA in his 4th year with the Pelicans. Man, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but he only spent 2 years with the Bulls. The most memorable ET moment was that game-winning three-pointer against the OKC Thunder in 2015. That's when Joakim Noah was still playing. And,
Yep.
Pau Gasol took the inbound pass from Mike Dunleavy, who immediately dished it to a then double-teamed Moore in the corner. E'Twaun chucked it up, won the game, sealed the victory with just 2.1 seconds left on the clock, and gave birth to the Benny the Bull holding his face and passing out face first on the floor meme.
Dunleavy. Gasol. Moore for 3. Good! Timeout, Oklahoma City. E'Twaun Moore, a career-high 19. A flamethrower from outside.
Look at this great pass to Pau Gasol. Russell Westbrook went down on Pau Gasol. That's the presence of Pau Gasol. You must double team because of his skill set. E'Twaun Moore knocking down a big three-point shot. And look at the bench of the Chicago Bulls led by Joakim Noah.
That was a pretty cool moment in number 55 history. Did you watch that game, by the way?
I remember that game vividly, actually. And I remember watching that shot go in and running around losing my mind, because this is at a time when the Bulls basically could find anybody as a backup guard, backup forward, whatever. Tom Thibodeau was going to make them work. And just seeing E'Twaun Moore finally get that shot, it's one of those moments that you remember. You know, it's a Bulls moment that's like Nate Robinson going off in the playoffs. It's like, it means nothing, but it means so much to us.
It does, and it meant so much to his agent because he cashed after that. That shot was cash. His contract was cash.
Big facts.
Man, oh man. All right, so let's go from and that sucks, by the way, that you brought up the fact that Tibbs was able to make just any B-list guard work for us, and yet we can't do it.
I mean, listen, you gotta pay respect to the man. Now he had his flaws. He'd run guys into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
All Dang's knees are gone because of Thibs, but you got to give him credit for what he was good at. He made some amazing guys get contracts far past the time that they should have been in the NBA.
Oh yeah. Joakim Noah's still living on that money, big time. So, and that sucks because I wonder what Tibbs would do with a year 2 Kobe White since he doesn't play rooks.
I don't. Like the thing is, here's the difference.
Yeah.
So with Jim Boylan, right, you got to earn your spot. He's kind of doing that like college. You got to find your way into the rotation. If you fall out of the rotation, you got to work your way back in. Thibs didn't play rooks. It annoyed the crap out of all of us, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, when that rookie did play, that rookie knew how to play basketball.
Yeah. That's
true. The part that's tough,
Yeah. He don't even get me started on Boozer over Taj Gibson right now. In those days, I just got to snap back and talk about what sucks today, and that is, let's go over some post-game Bulls versus Hornets. The Bulls had an extended break after the All-Star game, and Charlotte came in and destroyed them. But despite the fact that Thad Young led the way for the Bulls with 22 points and 11 rebounds, but the Bulls just couldn't get it going. Zach just had an off night. And we all know we need Zach to be a superstar every night in order to even win versus loser teams. They kind of had a huge comeback in the third quarter, much to the complete shock of Jim Boylan in terms of how it happened. Even in his press conference, he's like, I don't know, man. We just came back. I don't know how that happened. But the gap proved to be just too wide for the Bulls to traverse, and they never really had a shot to take the lead at any point. Daniel Gafford did finally play a limited role, but he hurt himself and pretty much shot himself in the foot by fouling out with 7 minutes left. I mean, I know you're a rookie, but that's kind of stupid. Notably, the Bulls were having a lot of fun against the Bulls, laughing at them and talking trash all night as they coasted to an easy victory over the injury-ridden Bulls. And at some point, they were calling plays. And, Pat, I swear to you, they would just run the play as if they were playing mannequins or the guys were running around cones around our guys. I think Felicio acted as a big, giant cone that they just kind of ran plays around. It was amazing.
Well, Felicio's been doing the mannequin challenge since he signed his contract. So,
yeah.
Once D. Wade left town, that was the end of Felicio's career.
Yeah.
And, it was a tough game to watch. Like you said, man, the Thad Young show, 22-11. My biggest takeaway from watching that game, honestly, after All-Star break, seeing probably the best game we've seen in the United Center all year, and that includes Blackhawks as well. You looked at it and you realized that there's not much on this team that you want to keep. Of course, you want to keep your young guys, the rookies, Kobe White, Daniel Gafford. You want to keep I want to keep Thad Young because I think with a good team, Thad Young does some good things. And, of course, you want to keep Zach because Zach can score at any moment. But other than that, I was just watching guys out there, and I was like, I'm not sure you guys should be in the NBA, a lot of you, Like, Archie, at this point, what does Jim have against Kobe White? Like, you're giving Archie the start over Kobe?
I don't know. Is it a practice thing? Is Kobe not that great at practice? I mean, we all saw the preseason where Ryan Arcidiacono even beat out Zach LaVine in some sort of a weird one-on-one championship belt contest they had. But,
I mean, I don't know, man. It's I don't know if, like we were talking about with Thibs, if it's that rookies got to earn their way thing. But, I mean, Cornette over Gafford. If Gafford's healthy, what are you doing there? You're not putting – it's confusing watching this team because we literally watch them not put the best pieces on the floor to win the game, or for the best chemistry on the team, we watch the guys who are Jim Boylan's favorite. It's like watching high school varsity basketball.
Yeah, and they keep putting the fat kid in.
Yeah.
And can't dribble.
Yeah. Watching Felicio play is painful at this point. Like, I don't know. I don't know
really,
what else you
Felicio
have to.
is really the guy that if you inflated me to 7 feet tall, that's how I would play in the NBA right now. No, I'd play better than that.
You got to be better than that, man. I mean, you can run, can't you?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
At least you got that going for you. I mean, he's really a hindrance to feet in the NBA.
I'm just saying this because I was a football player, but over basketball in my youth. But wouldn't you strive if you're as big as Felicio to get really big in the gym and just drill some guys on screens? Wouldn't you want that?
I think the thing with I don't know what Felicio's thing is. When I look at him, Felicio is the player version of the Chicago Bulls. He's not going one direction either way. He's not going towards all right, I'm a 7-foot guy, I'm big, let me bulk up and just push guys around down here and just be a monster because I have this body. But he's also not going towards let me lose a little bit of weight, get a little quicker, see if I can develop a better jump shot. He's just in the middle. He's just blah.
Yeah. I said this joke on Ball on Bulls with Dave and Chris.
Yeah.
Do you know what $24 million or no? What is he? 8 million times 40 is $32 million.
32 million.
You know what 32 million buys in Brazil? Brazil. He's going to be the king of Brazil. He's Trump in Brazil when he goes back next year.
That is. Let's hope. Listen. I'm all about people getting the bag. Let's hope he spends his money wisely. Like, if you can finesse the bag, go ahead, get your money.
Look at his Instagram. He's like getting in free everywhere he goes.
Oh yeah. He is king. I mean, honestly, when I've done my live streams of the game, there's been two countries that people have checked in most on. The Philippines, when Jordan Clarkson. Anytime Jordan Clarkson is playing against the Bulls, everybody from the Philippines tunes in. And Brazil. And they always ask to say, how's Felicio doing? Hopefully not in the game. Let's hope he's in. Oh, here we go.
You want him in the game?
No, they see, this is the thing. To them, like, Brazilian players, what do you got? Anderson Varejão, you got...
Yeah, everybody else is good.
I'm trying to think. Was Leandro Barbosa Brazil?
Yeah.
The Brazilian blur, yeah. You don't got much, so they're holding on to anything. It's like watching a guy from Indiana go be great, or a small town that just you're from. Like you got to imagine how people think of LeBron in Canton. That's probably how they view Felicio.
Yeah,
like, there's not much to grasp to. That's the only time you're going to get a LeBron Felicio comparison, by the way.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, let's put the lid on Felicio's head in the trash can here, and we will be right back after this quick break. Hey, everybody. Remember, we are a new show, and we do need your support in social media. We made it really simple to find us with some special redirect links. You can find us at Bulls Podcast on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, and go to bullspodcast.com/Facebook to get tied into our Facebook group. And if you'd like to subscribe to the show, we are on Apple Podcasts at bullspodcast.com/Apple, on Stitcher, bullspodcast.com/Stitcher, and on Spotify at bullspodcast.com/Spotify. All right, we're back. Marcus Couch, Pat the Designer from Windy City The Breeze, and we are going to have a State of the Bulls injury report. Let's face it, the Bulls need to get healthy And then we've got to see if we've even got a team once they get healthy. That's the one thing I guess I agree with John Paxson about is we don't really even know what we have right now. That's the first thing. But is it that when we get healthier that we're going to be so much better because everybody got hurt? I mean, there were times where not anybody was hurt on this team at all, and we still sucked. I mean, look at our record. It's not exactly like we hit the wall once guys went down. We've already eaten the wall since game one. Are we going to see December Lauri Markkanen when he's back? Is he just going to be present like a Felicio that can hit threes? Or, what's Wendell Carter Jr. going to do? Where's Gafford then? Back to the bench again once Carter's back? And can Otto Porter Jr. give us anything now that he's, been in club life for the past 4 months? I don't know what's going to happen here, but the Bulls have a real legitimate question, even if they are healthy. They should be good enough to win much more if they're healthy, but we'll see if that happens. They haven't had any consistency even prior to these injuries. So here's what we've got. Luke Cornett just sprained his ankle in practice today. No return timetable. Done. He's over. Done is done as a Chicago Bull. I'm sorry, but they say he's going to be reevaluated in 6 weeks again after this MCL. I got news for you. This extra 6-week MCL thing is going to result in a surgery that's going to be needed for Dunn. He is out. Gone. Lowry, I don't think he's going to come back in the next 2 weeks. Same with Wendell Carter Jr. Not going to happen. And who knows what's going to happen in the meantime with this 2-3 week delay before anybody gets back. So, Pat, what's your kind of take as you go into your crystal ball and look to see what Jeff Tanaka and the medical staff is doing with our guys here? What's your take?
When I look at even like you said, what do we have when we come back? That's when they come back. That's really the biggest question. The problem to me that I've said is the problem all season is health and player development.
Yeah.
We've seen guys take huge steps back that we were expecting to take big steps forward. So at this point, if I'm a Bulls organization who has talked about bringing in a new GM, new head of basketball operations, these guys are trying to make turnover. And if I'm John Paxson and Gar Forman's boss, which is Jerry, I'm like, do not risk my guys for a coach and a season that's already down the drain. I wouldn't bring Lowry back. I wouldn't bring Wendell. I'm torn on because Wendell, I think, needs to develop most. I think Lowry honestly was a mix of injury and horrible system. I mean, you took away the things that he did best and you said, all right, go play basketball.
Yeah, you had to pivot. I'm sorry, but that playbook has to pivot when Lowry's in the game. That's just the way it is. It's
got to go. I'm sorry. I understand how the current NBA is and how the Chicago Bulls want to go, but the one thing that the best coaches do, the Greg Popoviches, the Steve Kerrs, name your top coaches in the league, they adjust to the players that are on the floor. And I'm sorry, if you watched that Charlotte game yesterday, you're not a 3 and post team if you miss your first 17 3-pointers of the game. I'm sorry, like you didn't hit a 3-pointer until the third quarter. So maybe it's time to change up the system. When you're looking at Lauri Markkanen, you're looking at a guy who, what were his 2 best moves back last year? Catching the ball on the post with the fadeaway and his drag step.
Yep, that's it.
And all of a sudden, if you add that back into his game, now he can pump fake you off of the 3-point line because you think, oh, he's going mid-range. Nope, I got to get out. He's going 3. Mm-hmm. You don't know what his game is. I said the same thing with Nikola Mirotic that I'll say with Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is a big man that can shoot. He's not a shooting big man, and there is a difference.
Yeah.
Bringing these guys back, it doesn't help the season now. Otto Porter, you bring him back. Okay, that's a nice piece. What are you going to do? You could win enough games to get into the playoffs and lose your lottery pick that you're probably going to end up getting again, which will probably be 7. Or you try to tank, but you're not going to tank enough games to get the number 1 pick. So, again, you're stuck in the middle earth. You've failed another season, and you've wasted another season, and these guys are another year older. I don't know where you turn. You've got to look at an entire organizational rebuild, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lowry's already got 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
Zach's just along for the ride, man. That's it. He ain't got nowhere else to go.
But you know what?
He's just riding it out. My
thing is always like I said before, I would want to keep Thad Young because I think there's going to be such turnover in the Bulls that I don't think the players are that far off. The East is trash. The East is garbage. Mm-hmm. You can't name me outside of maybe the top 3 or 4 teams. You can't tell me the rosters. Other than Trae Young and John Collins, who's really on Atlanta?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that you start going through, and there's just not that power that's going to keep you out of the playoffs. Like I said, the Bulls could probably still make the playoffs this year if everybody came back, which tells you where the East is because of what we've watched. And when you look at bringing these guys back, when you look at what you're just risking future endeavors and future injury. Like, I wouldn't do it at all because I think that you might have a good mix of players here, but you got to develop these guys.
And even if they sniff their way in as the 7th seed or 8th seed in the East,
first round exit,
they're going to get killed. Giannis would destroy Chicago. I mean, it's a sweep.
It's not even close. The gap is so vast in the East.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. And it's just like I look back at our signings. Let's take our 3 signings. Thad Young, no brainer. The guy contributes, right? Even though I think it's hilarious that his wife targets fans back when they say negative shit about that. It's so funny. And then, okay, so Dunn is gone. That's a given. That's, the only defense we had is over. You got, Gafford's something, but come on. Guy gets in foul trouble just because of the rookie curse.
Well, and that's the thing, too. You got to, like, these guys, I get that players got to develop themselves at a certain point. Like, Lowry's could have been injury. It could have been Lowry not working hard enough. I don't know. I'm not in the room with him. You know what I'm saying? But he took a step back. Wendell Carter, better defensively, horrible offensively, because Jim Boylan's in his ear like, you'd better not shoot a mid-range jump shot. How many times all year have we watched Wendell just be wide open from 15 and in?
Yeah,
when we brought him in, all we watched from him at Duke was him dominating the paint and wide open for corner threes.
Yep. And yet he's not allowed to be who he is. Who is allowed to be who he is on this team?
Zach LaVine, because he said, I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And I'm the best player on the team, and you tell me whatever you want to say. You can bench me. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going to play my game because my game drops 40 points a night.
Yeah. He's the modern-day Jimmy Butler versus Fred. Just I'm doing what I want.
Yeah, and that's what scares me because the Bulls get rid of any voice that's actually, speaking out against the grain. So
yeah, they want Pau Gasol. They would just want to do.
You really do. He's going to the opera. He comes in, drops his 15 to 20 points a night, goes back to the opera, drinks a little wine.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what they want.
Just get a guy who's got a ring, who's already content, who can make $15 million a year.
They honestly want Derrick Rose, and they'll never get that again because he is a one-of-a-kind star. Derrick Rose didn't speak out against anything. Derrick Rose didn't ruffle any feathers. Derrick Rose came in. He said, I'm going to go play basketball, and I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
And they'll never get a star like that again. And when they got another star, maybe not a superstar, but I'd call Jimmy a top 15 player in the NBA.
Definitely.
They couldn't deal with it because he's in there like, listen, we're not working hard enough. We're not working hard enough. we got to get this guy out of here. Trade him away.
What would he have been like with Boylan? With the time clock? Think he would have dug that?
I've thought about what Jimmy would have been like with Boylan. And I think Boylan is more like Thibs, but the problem is Thibs had the brain. And I really don't think – I don't know what's Boylan good at. Because the Bulls aren't a good defensive team when it matters. They're a good defensive team when it doesn't matter. But when it matters, they're a horrible defensive team. They never make their switches. They're a horrible offensive team. They basically can't score unless it's Zach LaVine, and then everyone traps Zach LaVine, and then somebody's arbitrarily open at the bucket because of that. So they're a horrible offense. Like, I think Jimmy would have eaten Boylan alive.
Yeah.
Like, I think the end would have been the same. Like, either Jimmy would have been see, Jimmy's too open, though. Jimmy would have openly probably went to the media and been like, somebody need to fire this guy.
He did that in Minnesota. I mean, he got really vocal after he left us. Ooh, did he get vocal?
Well, you sent him back with Thibs. And listen, Jimmy loves Thibs for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and Thibs are too much alike. They've said it. Jimmy's like, I love Thibs as a person. I hate him as a coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Let me ask you this while we're still in this weird segment of okay, so Thad Young, keeper. Cornette, definitely not a keeper. Not the guy we thought he was going to be, because he had some lights out games last season, but he's had nothing like that this year.
You're expecting too much from him, though.
What am I expecting? A 16-point-a-night guy?
Is he that, though? He's a 3. He's a 3. Jim Boylan's putting him out there expecting him to be a center. He's not. He's just a shooter who wouldn't stop growing. Like, that's all he what's he going to give you? He's giving you what? 5, 6 boards while he's in there and 10, 12 points?
Yeah.
That's probably what he was giving you last year. If you've got a good team where you need a role-playing shooter, that's fine. When the Bulls are putting him out there expecting him to be the starting center, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get everybody hating him. He's Yeah. I wouldn't keep him around. Don't take my words as keep this guy around. But I think the Bulls brought him in, and Boylan overloved this guy and thought he was going to be something that he definitely wasn't. And again, his game regressed because of it.
If he shot 40s in for 3, keep him. He's good.
And you know what's going to happen? Bulls are going to get rid of him. A team like Golden State or Portland or something like that is going to pick him up and be like, we don't want you to do anything. You don't even have to come to practice. Just stand in that corner for the rest of your career and shoot. I don't expect anything of you but shoot.
And they will work on mechanics with him and get video analytics involved with his shot.
Yeah.
How come I don't see that on Run with Us, the Bulls soap opera? How come I never see that?
Well, there's only like 4 people in the entire Bulls analytic department anyway. It's like Mary, Jim, Tommy, and Josie. And it's pretty much the entire analytic department right there. And they're just, bringing up tape from the last game.
I know we have the Advocate Center and all that, but do they even have modern medical? Are we doing like cryotherapy? Are we doing what are we doing? What's going on over there? Is my local gym got more stuff than the Bulls workout center?
I'm very concerned about the Bulls medical staff, and I know it pretty much hasn't changed. I mean, I'm sure they've updated it, but I think the head of the medical staff is still the same guy that almost killed Luol Deng.
Yeah, with the spinal tap.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think it's still all these same. There's been injury that botched the Derrick Rose injury, that botched, whatever. Name your injury of a guy that's oh yeah, he'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, we meant 2 years. Like I don't know. That's the one thing, and you can't say it's coincidence. You can't say that these are just things that happen on the court, because yes, they happen on the court, but it happens too much to the Bulls.
Yeah, and it's only Denzel Valentine, perfect example. How long did they misdiagnose this dude when he first tweaked his foot?
Yeah.
And then it just continued for year after year after year, and now he's
and now that he's
6 points a game. Yay!
Yeah, now that he can actually play, they're pretty much just like, oh wait, no, you sit on the bench forever. Oh, you got really good at shooting? No, we don't need that. We're trying to run a 3-point shooting offense.
Yeah, I don't know. And is there a team in the NBA right now that is not going the new direction of all the threes and everything else? Have we all bought into it, or is there any stragglers left?
I would say that San Antonio's still a little straggly, but I also think that it's Greg Popovich playing to the talent that he has.
Yeah.
He knows what this new NBA is. He'd probably like to be involved in winning in this new NBA, but when you got DeMar DeRozan as your best player, you're not going to get a lot of big talent from the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of similar to the Bulls, except they just have a really good coach. Like a really good coach who looks at his team and he goes, no, we're not a 3-and-D team. We have to continue the mid-range shot. We have to play for our players' strengths instead of just, well, everybody else is doing it. We got to do it too.
Did you see the oh God, who did that yesterday? The shots of the United Center seats empty all around.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
and it's what finally needed to happen. We finally got, and I love the guys that just say, your team's bad, don't go to the game.
Oh, breaking news. I think I have it, Pat. Right now, breaking news on Twitter. The Lakers are waiving DeMarcus Cousins. I found our solution. We're bringing him in. Come on.
Listen, you talking to the biggest Boogie Cousins fan in the world. I was real depressed when he got hurt this season because I really wanted to see him get a ring. Even I'm at the point where you can't bring in Boogie. I would love – I begged the Bulls to bring in Boogie, but, it was at a time when Fred Hoiberg was the coach, and I realized, he would probably snap Fred Hoiberg in half. Oh, man. And they're going to do it.
Yeah.
What? Veterans minimum, I'd do it.
I would too.
Veterans minimum. I mean, you got Felicio.
Yeah. Kick him out.
Veterans minimum. Is this the last year of his contract? Please say yes.
Gotta be.
Because I feel like he's been here for a long. No, it can't be. When was D Wade here? D Wade was here 2016.
Yeah, 4 years.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
So this is it. This will be the last year of his contract. So hopefully they can get out of that. If Boogie's willing to take a vet minimum to come play in Chicago, I do it because the next guy they're gonna get is gonna be a well, I can't say it's the Bulls, but you'd hope if they're doing an organizational change, the next guy they're going to get is going to be a head coach who can deal with all of the, nuances of the NBA and can deal with the Boogie Cousins coming in and trying to make his way back.
Who do you pick? Who would your pick right now if you're the GM to replace Boylen? Who's your pick? Anybody?
Head coach pick? I've been focusing so much on GM, I haven't delved deep into a lot of the head coaching candidates. I said David Fizdale earlier. And because I really wanted to see him get a shot, but I think right now you can't. I don't think the Bulls are in a position to take a chance on a guy. It's so tough. It's so tough because the guy I really want is Mark Jackson, but I know he'll never coach in the NBA again.
Yeah. Not now. No way.
I just know he'll never coach in the NBA again, especially with what Andre Iguodala brought to light on the Breakfast Club. So that's it annoys me to say it because I honestly can't stand the guy as an announcer, but he's a good head coach. I would take a serious look if you're going to do an entire rebuild at a
sweep
guy like Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh, really?
I would take a serious look at it.
I don't know. I'm not a Van Gundy fan.
I'm not either. I can't stand him. But you know what he does? He brings culture. He brings a coaching plan. And he knows how to be a head coach at the highest level. Now, he coached for the Knicks. So
yeah,
you're gonna lose a lot of those battles. Also, he coached against Jordan.
Yeah.
You're going to lose a lot of those battles.
Not successfully.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of those battles. But at the end of the day, you got to say he knew how to handle personality differences.
So my pick is a complete dark horse, and people on this, listeners to this podcast already know. Yeah. I want Rajon Rondo to be a head coach.
Okay. See, you're on the taking the chance boat right away.
Yep. What are we doing now?
This isn't a chance. This is a go to jail.
This is hitting
a go to jail card.
This is hitting pause this season, right? Hitting pause.
I'm not mad at that pick. If we're taking chances, I'll give you my take a chance pick on head coach. Then, Juwan Howard, you got to get him out of there. You got to get him out of Michigan. You got to get him out of Michigan. I would love it.
He'd be a good one.
I would love Juwan Howard if we're taking chances.
Well, see, I picked Rondo because everywhere he's played, they've all said he's the best teammate I ever had. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he outworked everybody. He's not he just uses what he's got. He's a dog. And
I think he's going to be an excellent head coach in the NBA. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you take a chance on a guy who's been a head coach in this NBA successfully, might I add, but had some issues by going to the Knicks? Jason Kidd.
I don't like what happened in Milwaukee with him. He didn't. I mean, look at the tools he got and went nowhere with it.
A different Giannis, though. Yeah. A very different Giannis from those seasons to now.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but
Jason,
I feel like it's like Vinny I feel like it's like Vinny Del Negro all over again.
Yeah. I kind of do too, except like you don't got Derrick Rose on this team. That makes it look really good. Like it's the Bulls need to, I just hope that whatever guy comes in as the GM has that full voice to go and be like, this is my head coach and y'all gonna deal with it. Because if not, then we're just going down a recycled path that we've already been down.
Yeah, because even the headlines that I see is like Gar Pax aren't getting fired, they're getting demoted. Gar's going to be a scout and Pax is going to be an advisor and yada, yada, yada. It's like you either break up with her or you don't. You know?
Yeah. Well, Pax is never going anywhere because he's got rings with the Bulls and he's got Michael Jordan's cell phone number. So he'll never leave. But you know what? Listen, I'm a White Sox fan. I'm a diehard White Sox fan. And if Jerry Reinsdorf is good at one thing, and Michael Reinsdorf, I might add, they'll promote the mess out of people that they're loyal to just to get you out of the way. It'd be like, hey, you are now making $300 million to be in charge of all the pins in the building. Just keep the pins refilled and go away. Kenny Williams, John Paxson, you guys just fade into the blackness and let the new guy do what he's going to do.
Yeah, but The heat is higher than it's ever been. You're getting fans kicked out of games. You're getting people on national TV chanting "Fire Gar Pax." That's a bad look, man. Especially during the All-Stars.
It's a horrible look. It's a look that I think honestly sparked this sudden change of mentality coming out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that I do think that the mentality change was coming, just because I don't care what Jerry says. Jerry says that the White Sox he'd trade 2-3 Bulls championships for a White Sox World Series. No, you wouldn't. The Bulls is Jerry's baby.
$4 billion now. He was just $2 billion a couple of years ago.
That's his baby. And when he sees that audience, because White Sox fans, we love our team, but it'd be cold in the beginning of the season. We're not going out there to sit and watch y'all get beat 16-0.
No.
Like, I'm just not.
There are not 14 White Sox podcasts. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
there are not 100 YouTube channels dedicated to the White Sox. There's maybe 10.
Yeah. It's factual, man. We love our team, but at the end of the day, you got to put a product on the field. With the Bulls, it's such a good time no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a different game. You almost can't compare the sports, because baseball, 9 innings, when you getting home runs hit on you every time you look up, like 9 innings is a long time to be at a baseball game.
Yeah. I think rule changes would be in order for some things.
Yeah. You trying to bring in a mercy rule into the major league?
That would be nice, wouldn't it? So we don't even have to play the third quarter. We just go right to the fourth. You bottom 10 points and keep going.
What is it in Madden? 21-point blowout?
I don't know. I never played that, but
okay.
Yeah, or let's have one of the Lovables come out in the fourth quarter, for just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bring their mascot in and we fight. I don't know. I got to have something. I proposed before that giveaways at the games, like planters, the planters nut people.
Uh-huh.
They should give out like a pack of nuts if somebody nutmegs another player.
That would be great.
Forget about 2 free throws missed. I want to see a nutmeg. I want to see players trying for a nutmeg.
That would be amazing. I would go. But you know what? This is the problem. This is why it took so long for the Bulls to get to this point. Bulls games, even if they're bad, are fun. Like just being in the UC, being in that environment. Now, when you're watching the game, it's not fun. But everything else is entertaining in a mug.
It is. Like, I watch it on, admittedly, pirate streams. But,
hey.
I live in California, man. And there's not a lot of options here.
Hey,
and
what you gotta do, brother?
They show what's going on in the stadium.
Yeah.
Like on the scoreboard and all that.
Yeah.
And so I see what's her name? Courtney Hall and what's his name? Roman. Hamming it up and getting the crowd going.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
All the shows and all that stuff.
And all that,
yeah. I see that, and I see the Bucket Boys and the elevator guys or whatever they're called, the guys that go off the trampoline and everything else. And it's fun.
Yeah.
I like watching that. And it's interesting, too, because sometimes I watch the other team's feed when that's available. Just because I like to hear the announcers talking trash about the Bulls, and I know they're right. Like they said they couldn't believe Felicio had a contract, and he was just like a fringe G League player, and they were stunned that he was making $8 million a year. The 2 announcers, like the one guy that was the retired guy, I think it was for Atlanta or something.
Yeah,
he's like, I might suit it up again. He goes, I could take this Felicio right now.
Yeah,
the announcer is saying this.
Stacey King's could probably give Felicio buckets.
I don't know. Stacey needs to get his hand out of the KFC bucket if that's going to happen, because man's looking a little more round than tall. I don't know. What happened to Stacey?
I'm gonna leave Stacey alone. I love Stacey.
I'm not going to get on Stacey's ass either, but except Stacey needs to update the phrases. I know he's got nothing in the bag right now, but just because this team sucks.
That's really what it is. When are you gonna call? Give me the hot sauce with 0 for 17 from the 3-point line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I invented and gave to Stacey the catchphrase "Hutch is on" because that's how you spell his name, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But Hutch has never been on, so you can't use it.
Hutch. Somebody got to tell Hutch stop trying to destroy the rim every play. Like some plays you can just play basketball.
Yeah, Hutch. Okay, I'm going to go off on Hutch right now. Hutch is. It's like he gets in the game, he flexes, he does these crazy dunks. He's very quick, but he is real quick to the rim and then blows the shot.
Yeah.
And when he makes he's a good dunker, but then he flexes. It's like, bro, you ain't even going to be in the next game because you're going to get hurt today. What are you flexing for? You're not that strong. Let's not do this. Is it just that I'm in the game? Hooray. I'm excited.
You know what? My thing is, if you dunk it on people, if you dunk it past people, you're doing something right.
You get a flex.
If it's a good dunk, and you're not down by 30, you know, like that's the thing. Like the times that I've seen Hutch do the flex is like a meaningful, like, okay, we just came back from being down 21. It's a 2-point game now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Those are the moments where I see him get a little hype, and I really want to see Hutch to be good because you look at him and you're like, dude, he's got it. He's got everything a basketball player should have. Why isn't he good? And him, I don't know about as much because you want to say, you know, you want to kind of throw that same excuse out of player development and system, but I would think this system would be perfect for him.
I thought that about Antonio Blakeney.
Oh, this system will be – I don't know what – there's some NBA – I don't know if that's a work ethic thing or what because he's not on a team right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know – there's got to be something we don't know about Blakeney because every time we saw Blakeney, one, he never saw a shot he didn't like. Yeah. But he could score.
A lot.
There's got to be something we don't know about Blakeney. I believe he's on a G League team. I want to say he's on the Mad Ants. So he might be in the Pacers organization now.
He went to China for a little bit.
Did he? Was he in China for a bit? Maybe that's where he is. But there's got to be something there that we don't understand or don't know because you're right. He's on the
Jiangsu Dragons.
Yep,
not right now. He's probably getting the hell out of China to get rid of that coronavirus. Get out of there for that.
Oh, that's tough. But
yeah,
that's tough. That's a tough game to play. Just
in YouTube, their season must be over. 44 points versus some team. Yeah, 44 he threw down. And like when he was in the G League, it looked like he was the next Jordan. It's like, who is this? Yeah. What is this guy? This guy's nuts. And then, he got to the NBA and got in the game and just nothing.
There's got to be something that we're missing because I when the Bulls let him go, I was like, oh, wow. Brooklyn's probably going to be in play for him or Golden State. I was definitely thinking LA was going to be in play for him because they're going to need another scorer with getting rid of Brandon Ingram. And he fizzled out. I don't know, man. Like sometimes guys have that. There's that separation where you're clearly a G League player. You're clearly an NBA player. And then there's that role player bubble in between that you got to be. If you're on that level, you got to be working your butt off. So I'm wondering if there was a practice issue or a work ethic issue with that.
One will never know. Him and Cameron Payne are probably gonna sign with somebody. I'm sorry. What's Cam Payne been up to? Is he playing anywhere?
No, he's out of the league. Cam Payne's out of the league. He might be in China. Maybe he's over there with. Maybe they're on the same team.
Yeah, no, they're not. He does play for these Shangzi Lungs. Cameron Payne does.
China must be paying some good money because there's a lot.
They have so there's like 300 million people in the there's 300 million people in the US. People that have actually purchased an NBA item in China, 375 million.
Yeah.
That's how big that audience is. That's why when that one coach, I forget, was it Houston, talked smack about China?
Oh, you talking about Daryl Morey, the GM.
When he talked bad or against China when the Hong Kong situation all went down, that's why they were like, no, la 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 la. He didn't say nothing. He didn't say anything. He's all apologetic because their market is 20 times bigger than the U.S.
Well, yeah, and the cap's going to take a little hit because of that. There's going to be some repercussions from it, but he's done what most of the guys in the NBA did. He supported, I forget what it was about. Was it political freedom or something like that? Or I don't remember all the details of it, but I know that he seemed to be supporting the side that was right, and China was like, hold up, this China, we don't do that here. we communist over here. You can't come over here with them democracy view. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. You'll never. And we've seen, I believe that the China started to open up. I think there was some repercussions on the Chinese side as well, because I believe that the All-Star game was streamed over there, was televised over there. I'm sorry. And so I think that market's opening back up, but there's going to be some relationship building. And probably some rules set in place, like don't say anything about anybody.
There has got to be a Chinese Bulls podcast out there that gets like way more numbers than you and I will ever dream of. What do you think? I'm down, man. Let's learn some Mandarin right now.
Ni hao.
That's all I know.
Shimo.
Yeah.
I got a little bit. That's all I got. I didn't have too much more.
I know how to order. That's it.
Kung Pao chicken. Orange.
All right. On that note, we are going to order one last break here. And then when we come back, Pat and I are going to pick our wins and losses for the Bulls for this coming week. Right after this. All right, we are back, and it's time to make our predictions. We've got a lot of games in succession here, so we're going to pick the next three that are coming up. First, Bulls versus Suns, Saturday in the United Center. These are all home games, so even though that Charlotte loss kind of was a stinger, we got some here in the UC to kind of maybe build our self-esteem back up before they go back on the road. So, Saturday, the 22nd. Pat, who do you got? Bulls versus Suns.
Both teams struggling, pretty much kind of mirror images of each other, except the Suns seem to have the arrow pointing up a little bit. This is such a tough decision. I'll pick the Bulls to win. I don't have anything to go off of that makes me feel that way. Like, I don't think there's going to be a big play by the Bulls or the Suns are just going to play horribly. Like, Devin Booker's probably going to come in and drop 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but Thad Young will win it.
Yeah, like it'll literally, exactly. It'll be one off of a Thad Young tip. But you got to give Phoenix credit. They're pointing in the right direction. By the way, did a coaching search. Some the Bulls might want to take into account there. So I'll pick the Bulls to win, but it ain't a confident pick.
All right. On the bubble there with the dub. I will also pick a W. And then we've got Bulls versus Wizards the following day. So it's a back-to-back. And I don't know how the players are going to respond. Half of them will probably collapse from injury after the back-to-back. But Bulls versus the Wizards. We seem to have their number lately, at least. Hopefully Beal won't be going off, but I'm going for a dub. Who do you got?
I can't pick the Bulls for 2 dubs in a row.
No? 2 they can do, 3 they cannot.
2 they can do, but you know what? The Bulls in back-to-backs, like they don't have enough.
Okay.
They just don't. They don't have enough players, they don't have enough energy. Like Bradley Beal's probably going to drop 50 again.
Yeah. Okay. And then we've got Chris Paul and the OKC Thunder coming into town Tuesday, the 25th. The UC will be protected by State Farm and Jake the State Farm guy as they invade. And I think the Thunder are actually going to roll right over us and picking an L.
Yeah. I think the best thing that may come out of that game is going to be the fact that Sam Presti might get an opportunity to see if he wants to stay in the UC forever. But other than that, the Bulls are going to get rolled out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gonna be the big guy in that game, in my opinion.
All right, I'll put that down in the book for you. Not a problem. All right, so to close this out, we got the Bulls versus Suns. Pat and I both think we're going to get a dub in that one. Bulls versus Wizards, we're split on that. I think the Bulls can pull out 2 in a row. Pat says no way. And then the Bulls versus the Thunder Tuesday. Both of us are down for an L. So tell us what you think. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. Whatever you want to do. So we will take one last break and come back to close it out right after this. And Pat the Designer, you can follow on Twitter at Pat the Designer, and WC The Breeze is where you can find Windy City The Breeze, their show. And in Twitter and YouTube, you can find Windy City The Breeze. Just search for it, or search for Pat the Designer, or just look for it at bullspodcast.com or in our YouTube video. We'll also have links to that. Me, you can find on social media at Marcus Couch, both Twitter and Instagram. Everything show related you can find at Bulls Podcast. And remember, if you forget any of these things, just go to bullspodcast.com. It's where you can find notes for this show and all the other shows. Pat, closing thoughts from you, my man.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. It's good to be able to speak with somebody and have a good time, even in these tough times. Bulls fans, hang on. Yeah. We're gonna be okay. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. So I encourage every subscriber and listener to the Bulls Podcast to check out Pat's stuff. You guys are doing some amazing things on YouTube, and I'm getting inspired, man. I'm thinking about putting the Bulls YouTube stuff together and starting to do more on video myself. So come on, man. Come on. I can help you along with it, man. We do the simulcast, so you can still do your podcast and do the video. That's how we get it down, you know? Yeah. Somebody's got to do it, man. It might as well be us. Go for that Mike and Mike thrill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. All right. I think it might convince me there. Okay, until next time, thanks for listening, everybody. Go Bulls. Hey, go Bulls, man.
Hey, Bulls fans. This is your Bulls championship announcer, Ray Clay, saying so long, everybody. Go Bulls.